Doctor Who and the Visitation by Eric Saward. Read by Matthew Waterhouse. Chapter 1. It was a warm summer evening. The rays of the setting sun bathed the old manor house in subtle shades of red and gold. Evening stars appeared as the night continued to fade. From a high branch, a sleepy owl watched a fox break cover and silently pad towards the west wing of the manor house. Night was awakening. Small furry animals with bright shiny eyes scurried through the undergrowth in search of food. A grass snake, warm and refreshed from a day spent lying in the sun, tentatively flexed his body and explored the air with a series of short, sharp flicking movements of his highly sensitive tongue. The owl, now fully awake, stared fixedly, saucer-eyed, at a shadow below. Suddenly, he launched himself into space and on silent wings, talons extended, sped toward a tiny harvest mouse. A moment later, the bird's hooked beak was tearing at his supper. It was the first kill of the evening. With her day book before her on the window seat of her bedroom, Elizabeth watched the fox as he trotted by below. Smiling, she picked up her quill, dipped it into her pewter ink pot and recorded the sighting in her best copperplate handwriting. She then replenished her quill, and at the bottom of the entry set its creaking, scratchy nib to uncoil in black ink the date, 5th August 1666. Blotting the sheet carefully, she closed the day book, rose, picked up her candle and crossed to the door. With long skirts carefully controlled, Elizabeth started to negotiate the steep, narrow stairs from her bedroom. As she descended, she heard the distant bark of the fox. Hoping to catch a last glimpse, she paused at the stairway's tiny lancet window and peered out. But the only moving thing visible was what appeared to be a ball of light, slowly crossing the sky. Elizabeth stared at the object, puzzled by its slowness and the acute angle at which it was travelling towards Earth. If it was a shooting star, she thought, it was unlike any she had seen before. Surprise replaced puzzlement when, at great speed, a tiny but very distinct bolt of light was ejected from the main ball. Elizabeth watched as the bolt not only rapidly decelerated, but also lost light intensity. A moment later, the main ball exploded, creating a pyrotechnic display of such magnificence it looked as though 1,000,000 fireworks had been ignited at the same moment. Overcome with excitement, Elizabeth half ran, half fell down the remaining stairs. In the main hall of the house, Sir John dozed before the unlit fireplace. He had just consumed a vast meal along with 2 bottles of his favourite wine. Although the rhythmic movement of his bulky stomach suggested contentment, his high colour and twitching countenance more accurately indicated the onset of indigestion. Ralph, the elderly servant, blew out the taper he had been using to light extra candles and slipped it behind his ear for safekeeping. "Do you want me to clear away, Master Charles?" he said. Charles, who was sitting in his favourite chair cleaning a pair of saddle pistols, glanced across at his now snoring father. "Leave the bread and cheese," he said. "I'm sure Sir John will want a little more to eat before retiring." He gazed at the undulating stomach and sighed, although heaven only knows where he puts it all. The servant smiled and started to shuffle towards the dining table. Suddenly the door burst open and the highly excited Elizabeth rushed into the room. "Papa! Papa!" Sir John's face turned deep purple as he coughed, spluttered, and then sat bolt upright, placing his hand on his racing heart. "Fire and brimstone!" he screamed. "You should know better than to enter a room like that." "I am sorry, Papa," she bubbled, setting her candle on a side table and running to the window. "But you must see them." Sir John craned his neck as he endeavoured to keep his daughter in view. "The lights, Papa!" She tugged at the curtains. "They're so beautiful." "Lights?" Sir John clambered awkwardly out of his chair. "What lights?" It was clear he was uneasy. Elizabeth continued her tussle with the drapes, but her final victory was a hollow one. "Oh, they've gone," she sighed, staring into the blackness of the night.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?